Hello, welcome to Slow Blink Anime. This is Candace,
And this is Phil.
and we are going to talk about the new episode of My Hero Academia, episode 75. It's called Unforeseen Hope. And with this episode, it's amazing.
Yeah, it was another good one.
It's amazing. And obviously, I can't wait for the next one again, but we gotta talk about this one first.
Yeah. It was definitely impactful, but just a little bit lower under the Lemillion episode. Because that one was definitely still the number one.
Better than this one, but this one still, it kind of highlights Deku.
Yeah. Alright, so it starts off, it has a recap, and it ends with like Deku busting in again through the wall, and then it goes to the OP. And then that starts off with so the people behind, they were with Irinaka after they captured him, and they're trying to see if he would fix all the walls so they can go through the tunnels.
Yeah.
They go through the tunnels and catch up to Overhaul and Lemillion. But then they were explaining how he must have used the drug and he can't. He doesn't have the power anymore. He has that same power he had. It was just like he can only take control of something the size of a refrigerator, they said.
But the drug, even though it gives him that extra boost in power, it also doesn't last as long. And so he already used it all up on them, and so they can't do that anymore. They can't.
And then we get all the heroes and the cops asking about. They're asking about the League of Villains, and seeing how many they were because. Irinaka was upset with Twice and Himiko, and he kind of, in his anger, gave away that it was just those two and there wasn't any more. So.
Yeah, because they didn't even expect. Well, they
didn't expect them at all.
They didn't expect the League of Villains to be involved at all, but the fact that the two popped up made them wonder that maybe there's more of them. But Irinaka had already mentioned no, it's just the two of them, and he wants to kill them so bad. Because he's just so angry at them for betraying their Yakuza group.
Yeah, then after that we get a Rock Lock, and we get this little scene where I really enjoyed the scene, but he's explaining how they've got this far and they need to keep going, and he would stay with Irinaka and stay, but he didn't want them to waste the opportunity that Fat Gum and Kirishima and Riku, everybody up top, and the other heroes that were being a part of this, they didn't want to waste that opportunity, so they just needed to go ahead and chase after Lemillion.
Yeah.
And I wrote down this quote. He said, each and every one of them acted more like heroes than the adults. And he was talking about the UA students.
Yeah, and like I guess the reason why he's saying all this stuff is because they had an agreement prior to this operation that if the League of Villains are involved in any way, then Deku, the students are not supposed to keep going with them. Like, but Rock Lock talked them out of it. And because remember Deku had the flashback of the agreement that
Aizawa said if there was any way involved,
if League of Villains are involved, y'all are out of this. And so Deku was like, Eraser or Sensei, like, what do we do now? Or it's like, like, are we still part of this?
Yeah, he was worried they were gonna pull out. Pull out.
But Rock Lock had mentioned that they're already in this. They've already been involved, and he had mentioned that they have been such a big part of this, so just might as well go ahead and include them.
Okay.
And so that's when they just started going.
Yeah, and it really did mean a lot coming from him, especially because prior in the meetings, he was really reluctant to have the students there, and he thought they were just going to be a nuisance. Like, why are these kids here in this meeting? What are they going to bring to the table? But that was really impactful for me because it's like it was a whole him having his mindset changed and all the students proving themselves.
Yeah, basically Deku and the other students had proved themselves to Rock Lock, and Rock Lock had, I guess, his heart opened up to them, and so now he trusts them, and
it was really sweet.
Yeah, and I feel like the reason why he was trying to protect those students, part of it is because maybe he thinks that they're just a nuisance and they'll get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
But he had this flashback, or we had this little flashback of his wife and his kid, and the kids being the future,
mm-hmm.
protecting them, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So it's more like a parental thing then, rather than...
That's kind of how I looked into it.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Because I don't understand why would they have to show that,
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess it can be read either way.
I guess it came off like he was just like they were going to be a nuisance, but how he really felt was like what you said, the parental.
He probably he's just trying to protect them.
Being protective.
Because they're going to be the future after them.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Well, okay, so now we're moving on to where they start going.
Uh-huh.
So it's the team is made of Eraser, Night Eye, Deku.
Yeah.
It's just 3 of them, correct?
Yes. Oh, did you remember that scene with Twice and Himiko right after that though?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
What do you mean? Oh, when they were talking, when Twice whispered something to Himiko.
Let me tell you what I thought that was. Because Himiko was like, Tomura would really like that, Shigaraki, their boss, after Twice whispered to her.
Yeah.
And they're saying like they're about to fight the heroes and the Yakuza.
And this is gonna determine, or this is gonna be the battle that will decide.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they were like waiting for them after the fight, where both sides are weakened, or one side for sure?
That's kind of what I'm.
Do something?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, and I think that's a good way of thinking about it, because I guess they're Yeah, you're right. Like they're waiting for both of them to just tire each other out, and until they've already exhausted everything that they've had on both sides, then that's when they're gonna go in and.
Yeah. That's the only thing I could think of for their idea.
Maybe, but we'll see. We'll see more on that.
But yeah.
Hopefully on the next episode. But
yeah, but to continue what you were saying, it was just Night Eye, Deku, and Eraserhead.
Yeah.
They're all together, and they bust through the wall. And they immediately get through, and that's when we get that really cool scene with Deku, where he punches Overhaul and knocks him away, and then we get the title screen. It's got the title. I really liked how he transitioned that.
Yeah.
But they get in, and then the first thing Night Eye does is like analyze everything. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
He was like, they got the walls up, and then Mirio's over here, and Overhaul was beaten down. He was just analyzing everything right away.
And Eraser, first thing he did was
stops the quirk.
Yeah, stops Overhaul's quirk.
Mm-hmm.
And so Overhaul over there was trying to use his quirk. He touches the ground, nothing happens. And so he knew immediately what happened. And so he knew that moment that he needs to take Eraser for him to be able to do anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens next was
Chrono wakes up.
He woke up Chrono.
Yeah,
he yelled at him.
Yeah, but he had healed his.
Yeah,
he healed just the damage in his head, right?
Yeah, prior to Chrono getting knocked out.
But yeah, you're right. Just him screaming at him woke him up.
And he was complaining how it took him forever to wake up.
And he was gonna attack Deku and Eraserhead, but he just got Eraserhead because he pushed Deku out of the way.
Yeah.
And that's when Eraserhead was losing the ability to keep his eyes open. He was about to blink, and of course, at that time, Deku's rushing at Overhaul. And right when he's about to make contact, the quirk comes back, and Overhaul gets his powers back.
Yeah. And then Eraser's gone, and Chrono took him to another room. And then so.
And that's when Overhaul gets to Nemuto.
He merged.
Yeah.
With Nemuto.
It was the guy that has the confession quirk.
Yeah.
That makes him confess. And I like that line he said. He said, "You would die for my sake, wouldn't you?" And as he's absorbing him and taking, well, I don't know. Is he using his quirk like to deconstruct him and reconstruct him into himself? Is that what you understood?
I honestly don't know. Like, I don't know how he made it work.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's how it is, because that's how his quirk works anyway. But I honestly don't know how.
Yeah, because it's not like he got it's not like he absorbed him and got his features or anything, because he just got those two big arms that came out of his back. No,
Yeah.
it was the two big arms, and then his arms turned into those kind of claw-looking things.
Yeah.
It was all that. But it's like his power did multiply, though.
Yeah, and he also got Chronos quirk, the confession.
Yeah, we saw that later.
Yeah, and so he got stronger, and he also added Chronos quirk to his own his own quirk too.
Which is pretty cool. And he even mentioned that it's never gotten to this point where he's had to do that.
Yeah.
And that's where he admits that Lemillion was stronger than him, and he had been overpowered by Lemillion, which was saying a lot for Mirio, for all the effort he put in, because he was overpowering a Yakuza boss at that point. It just shows you how strong a UA student is.
Yeah, and the fact that Mirio was also he's protecting Eri. 2, he's fighting more than one villain. It's not like he's just fighting Overhaul. He was also fighting Chrono.
He was fighting all the pillars that were with him, the Hasai pillars.
Yeah. I mean, even prior to that, he had to fight the
two
slosh.
Yeah, and I think he was still affected by the sloshed quirk.
And so he had done so much just by himself. And I know that he was trying to be careful too, because he can't just go all out, because he knows that he had to protect Eri too. And that what makes everything so much harder to fight. And he did a really good job knowing that he's just a student.
Yeah, and speaking of Eri, I'm glad you mentioned that, but we found out this episode that she's the leader that was bedridden of the Hasai group.
The granddaughter.
She's the granddaughter.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense. And Chisaki was just a random kid that he picked in, brought in, right?
Yeah.
So no relation. Definitely
no blood,
confirmed.
No blood relation.
But that would make him like a father figure to her, right? Would that make sense?
Probably the boss made him, gave him a role of a father figure to Eri, and then he's just doing it because the boss had told him.
Yeah.
Now, this is just me overreading into things, but I don't know. We don't know yet.
But do you think...
But obviously, Overhaul hates Eri with all his heart.
I don't know if he hates her, but it's like he's using her for sure.
Yeah, he's using... he doesn't have...
Go ahead.
Mercy or anything with her. I mean, the fact that the way that he's using her,
it's like she's just a tool or something.
Yeah.
But it's like what I'm thinking. I don't know anything about it, but it's the grandfather was taking care of Eri, and then when he got sick, Chisaki got in charge, and he was able to do what he wanted to do, and that's when he started taking advantage of Eri. That's what I'm thinking is happening.
Again, that could be it too.
Yeah. But does it continue? Chisaki's talking to Deku right after he merged with Nemuto, and that's when they find out that Mirio lost his quirk, because they're saying they lost it forever, and then Nada's like, did he perfect it? He perfected the drug.
Yeah. And
you can see just the disdain in their faces, both of them. And,
you know that at that moment they just want to kill Overhaul.
It was a painful moment for sure for both of them.
Yeah, I would too. Shoot, I wanted to kill Overhaul for that, but and I'm kind of hoping that they find some kind of way to bring back Mirio's quirk.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's like a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, he's such a strong hero. He would have been an amazing hero.
Yeah.
But
he would be.
But then, just to continue, Deku tries to fight Overhaul, and he can't read his movements because Overhaul's so fast. And Night Eye steps in and is gonna fight in his place. And he said, Deku and Lemillion should take Eri and get out of there. And Night Eye's trying to fight him, and he's able to activate his quirk, right? Foresight. And he's able to predict the movements. I don't know if it was predicting it through the foresight or if it's just through his battle experience. because we had a flashback there with Mirio
And Night Eye.
and Night Eye, and they were saying just accumulate all that, and that can be like how you would see the future. And I'm not sure if he was seeing Overhaul's movements or if he was just predicting it, but later we see that he wasn't able to do much. And just one little comment that I loved from Night Eye while he was fighting Overhaul. Let me see what. Oh, he said he must have been really scared of Lemillion to have to use that drug. Did you like that?
Yeah.
That quote?
Yeah.
It was just like a backhanded thing to say to him.
Yeah.
He was like, you must have been real scared.
Yeah.
It shows you how strong Lemillion is.
And you know that you can at that moment you can feel how proud Night Eye is of Mirio. He's so proud of his student. And then he was basically fighting for him and Mirio. He's fighting with Mirio's spirit, even him without being there with him. And he basically is bringing Mirio's goals with him, and that's a very heartfelt moment, and you can just feel the pain.
Yeah, the pain and the anger.
Yeah, and he's also he mentioned that he was kind of thanking Mirio for letting him teach him and learning from Night Eye. And it's just a very proud student teacher moment. That was so sad.
Yeah, I know, it's really sad.
Are you okay over it?
It shows you the human side of Night Eye, because when we first met him, he was just like this really cold dude, or he came off as really cold and just blunt about everything. But yeah, you can tell he really has compassion for his students, especially Lemillion. You're laughing.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Thank God we're not on a video.
Anyway. We get that flashback anyway. Where Night Eye's talking to Gran Torino, and they're discussing Night Eye's quirk and how the way he made it seem, it was like when he sees someone's future, it's kind of set in stone at that point, because even if he tries to act differently, he said, it would still balance out and come to that conclusion in the future. And he thinks it's like he was blaming himself for All Might's certain death.
Yeah, he's been blaming himself for that for such a long time, and that's the reason why he kind of hesitates whenever he needs to use his quirk. He has to, like, he doesn't just use it just for the heck of it. Just he got traumatized a little bit when he used it on All Might.
Yeah, but I don't think it's really his fault.
It's not. It's really not.
But it did turn him off from using his quirk on other people, is what he said.
Yeah.
He would never want to do it again.
Yeah.
But then, anyway, we get back to the fight, and that's when... Oh, what were you going to say?
Well, Mirio and Eri escaping.
Yeah, they're escaping right now, and Night Eye's fighting. And then we get the scene where Night Eye gets impaled through the stomach and the arm. And you know he's done at that point. And that's when Deku wants to go back, right? To help Night Eye in his place. Because Deku was with him, right?
Yeah, Deku was with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was... Oh. It was the point when Night Eye had this vision that... you know how... when he uses his quirk, he sees the future.
Oh, yeah.
And he sees it like a film. And then the film just goes to this picture of them fighting, and it keeps going, and slowly blood was staining each film until the last film that he sees are just all covered in blood, and then it goes into empty films.
It just cut off, yeah.
And so at that point, what's running in my head was, is Night Eye gonna die? Is that what it means? He can't see further than that because he's gone.
Mm-hmm. I think you mentioned something about that a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, but that's just at that point. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what you're thinking. Yeah.
And so I'm like,
It looked like.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Like Deku too. Did you think? Because the blood.
Yeah.
On him.
Could be.
But
And then Deku, and then that's when Night Eyes says that. You know what? This is probably a hopeless situation. And Deku can do nothing about it anymore, and Deku cannot change the future. And that if we keep going, we're both gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was towards the end, right?
Overhaul's gonna escape.
Mm-hmm. Because whenever Night Eye gets impaled and we get that little scene with the film, Deku comes in and he starts using 20% of One for All.
Yeah.
Yep, and then he tries to do he does the Manchester Smash with his kick to try to stop Overhaul. And he hits him on the head, but he's able to repair himself really quickly. And Overhaul mentions how his moves are really predictable.
Well, one, he's experienced. He's inexperienced.
That's what I was gonna say.
Two, he's like first year student, something like that.
It's
versus Muriel, that's almost graduating.
Yeah, he's third year.
Um,
But that was like the third person that told him that, because Night Eye told him that, and when he was doing that test with him when he first met, and then Gran Torino told him that when they were doing the training when he was first using like a percentage of the quirk. So I think he needs to do some He needs to have some major development because
he will, and I think that's probably the reason why they're showing him as very inexperienced is because we need some people to die along the way. We need him to be experienced emotionally and through training, physical, and his power, his quirk, for him to fully develop. And so we're seeing him in his baby years right now.
Yeah.
And then as the story goes by, he's gonna get stronger and stronger and stronger. And so that's kind of a good comparison between Muriel and Deku.
Like this is what he will be in the future.
He might, yeah.
There's like a contrast. But he is putting up a pretty good fight at that point.
Yeah, he was.
And then we get that scene where like Muriel's with Arian, he's collapsing and he's bleeding. And it looks like in Ari's face, it's like she's guilty that this is happening. Like she feels like it's her fault. Were you picking up on that too? Because she just felt like really responsible for all these people being hurt and injured and captured and all that.
That's what she's been saying all along. All this time, that's what she's been feeling. And that's the reason why she keeps going back to Overhaul. Because Overhaul gets into her head. Every time she's about to go with the people that saves her, the voice goes back to her head saying, "You are hurting these people. You are killing these people if you go with them."
Yeah.
And so that's when she kind of stops herself, even though she really wants to be rescued. She also wants to save them, but she doesn't know how. And so the only way that she knows how, or that she was taught, was that she needs to stay away from these people.
Yeah, she was just put the burden on herself to bear the pain.
Yeah, and so here she coming back. And it's really frustrating because I'm like, they have done all these things for you, and you're over here. But then again, I understand she's a kid. What does she know? Yeah. So she goes back.
Yeah, especially at the end whenever like Overhaul's using Nemuto's quirk, the confession, and he's getting Eri to answer all those questions. Like, what is he? He's saying, I know he mentioned like, you really think this guy can do anything on his own power? And she says no, and then he's like, what do you want to do? And he's like, go back. Like, what do you think you should do? Like, go back with her. And it was just, she was definitely telling the truth, like her honest feelings, because she had to from the quirk.
Yeah.
But it shows you how hopeless she feels in that situation. And she would rather try to protect them than protect herself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we get with Deku. He still of course wants to try to save Eri because he keeps saying, "You're crying, right?" And then he's like, "I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save us." And he wants to change the future. And that's when you were talking about how Night Eye said that the only ending he saw was Deku getting killed and himself getting killed and Overhaul escaping. And then Deku says, "I'm gonna twist the future." And he's gonna change it, whatever he thinks. But that's how the episode ended, and then it goes to Ryuku and Ochako and Tsuyu all coming in from the ceiling. That's how the episode ended.
Yeah. Just some crazy stuff.
But yeah, it's gonna be exciting. That's when the ending started, and then we saw the preview for next week. What'd you think about that?
Part of me is telling me that they're not gonna pursue him. Part of me feels like they're gonna have to have a second operation to, I guess, do this in a better way and have everybody heal up. But because I really don't know how they're gonna be able to get him. Like, I really don't know. And then with Eri being kind of stubborn.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it's just a very complicated situation.
Okay. Because I remember reading this.
So you already know?
Yeah. I don't remember like all the details in between, but I do remember what's gonna happen in the next few episodes. And I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, I know you won't. So all of us are just gonna have to wait, except for Phil, because Phil already knows.
I won't say nothing. It's gonna be good though.
I bet it's gonna be good.
We're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Alright, you got anything else, Candace?
Nope. I think that's all I have for this episode. Thank you for listening to us. We'll see you on the next one.
Yep.